On this episode, amazing episode with Anthony Oliveira, right, Trayvon?
Oh, dude, it was awesome. Yeah, it was a great time to have Anthony on, just to see the transition from back when I watched him in high school squat.
Yeah, it's cool. Cool.
You know what? This guy, he mentioned that he squatted over 1,000 pounds, and it was just kind of hard. Not hard, kind of hard.
Hey, he's going to have his own spot. He's leaving Ohio. We're going to send him off with just talking about a little bit of the growth, a lot of the growth that he's had, why he's been here. It's great to have him on the episode, and it's brought to you by MaxEverMuscle.com. Let's go to the show. Yeah. We are live. Roundtable Podcast. I'm your boy Corey G at Small Arms Danny. Wait, Danny's having a baby.
Not here.
Danny's having a baby. He's not here. At Trey Speed and the graphic gangster himself, Cole Susak. Special guest. I can say it. World record.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It's record holder, baby.
It's official.
Anthony Oliveira. What's
official, man. That just when I saw that list, I was like, I gotta send this to my boy.
Yeah.
Because the other names on the list are like epic, and so to be above him on that, I was like, damn. Like
to see your name at number one of anything, it's got to be fucking
without
crazy.
having to like manipulate it to like brown hair, blue eyed division or whatever. Like when it's just like 275 single ply squat. Period. The fucking end.
And then you see like Ed Cohen,
Milanichev,
Charles Bailey, Henry Thompson,
Hatfield, like
Fred
So you did
Dr. Squat.
Can you can you say like what the record was?
Yeah, it was 10:36.2 in single ply. At I only weighed 258.
You're that light.
Oh
yeah,
shit.
because it was only like 4 or 5 weeks after WPO, so I was just like chilling. Like I was like, we had talked about me doing a meet before WPO to get that record. Sure. And it just didn't line up because I totaled that 25:05 when I went back to New Hampshire in multiply, and I was like, I want to sneak in another meet before WPO to get this single ply record because I know I could do it. And I had never put on single ply gear in my life, but I was like, I know I can fucking do this. So, and then it was just like, I just felt a little beat down. And then everything that was going on with my dog and everything, like being sick, I was like, I want to focus on WPO. So then when I bombed out at WPO, I was like, all right, motherfucker, it's on now.
Which I was live streaming at my kid's 3rd grade football game, or 5th grade football game. By the way, I'm a real fan here, Anthony. I am your homie. I'm in the stands watching my kid play football in 5th grade, live streaming Anthony's bench on the people are like, what are you watching? I'm like, it's a powerlifting thing, you know? It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, that was a tough day, but I think that it kind of like, it kicked me in the pants a little bit.
No question.
I was actually saying to Val to dive right into that. Can we get right into that?
Yeah, whatever. We make our own rules, bro.
So I was actually saying to her, like, I don't think I was all in on the prep for that WPO. Yeah. I got to be honest. Like,
That's an honest statement.
Yeah, it's tough to, like, put that out there because I am the dude who's like, yo, you're either in or you're fucking out. Sure. Right? But like I had really, like, I really got into golf. I was trying to do the thing where it was. That's
amazing. You just said that.
Hey, man, hey, like listen, like there was something about it to go out with the boys, have a couple drinks, and do that. And for me, I didn't have anything like a hobby like that was fun like that. Yeah. In that way where it's like relaxing, it's difficult, but it's like it's rewarding when you play good.
That's why I like golf so well, because our hobby is our job now.
Yeah.
And so that's what a lot of people don't, you know what I'm saying? And that's what golf always did for me too. That's interesting.
And I get to dress up. That's like I get to dress like an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Like put on the high socks and the goofy hat. You know what I mean? But I wasn't, I was just like, man, like my prep went good, pretty well for that WPO meet, but it was like, with everything going on with Winnie, just people watching, like my dog had cancer. I love my dog. We had to give her a surgery. It was crazy. And she's fine now, but it was like really heavy on me. And so I was using golf as like kind of like an outlet for me to just relax a little bit. Yeah. And then, you hit, like you talk about it, like you have to have fun. You have to have time where you shut off, right? Where you relax, right? And I think I just took that a step too far because I just figured I'd do good at the meet. Like I was like, prep has gone well. My squats look good. My bench looks great. Like it's fine. And then
you told me you golfed about a week out of the meet, and I was thinking to myself, like, I don't even do that. I'm a pretty good golfer, and I don't squat 1,100 pounds.
And I'm trash.
Yeah, and I was like, so you're twisting like that. I just thought, like, I don't know if that's good for you, Anthony.
Yeah. It was like one of those things where I was like, I figured out how I could do it, and then I had certain like protocols I would do, like mobility stuff before I went and after I went, and felt fine. But I think emotionally and physically I wasn't all in. So when I bombed out, I was like, all right, motherfucker, like it's time. You know what I mean? And I went in the it was on a Sunday or a Monday, the meet was, and then the following, not that Friday, but the following Friday, I put on the single ply stuff. I squatted a grand. It was like kind of hard, probably one of the harder 1,000-pound squats that I've had. But I was like, all right, like I think I could do this.
You basically squatted a grand in tighty whities.
Yeah, like I was like, I think I can do this. And then the following Friday, I got in and squatted 985 like to the basement, like sunk it, and I was like, and it was hard, but I was like, ah, fuck it, I can do it. So I had never touched 1035 or 1036 in the single ply stuff. Opened with 983 and fucking went for it. And love it. Yeah, and it was crazy. My parents were
going
there.
outside of it too, because for a lot of people who don't understand powerlifting, right, that are just listening to this like for entertainment, like guys that do raw usually don't go to single ply. Guys that do single ply don't go to multiply. There's like all these like silos, right? I fucking don't care. I do all of them, but that's why we like each other, I think. But Anthony is the level of a top 10 multiply guy, right?
Yeah.
To then go to single ply, it's like kind of a big deal in this world.
Yeah, it was kind of unexpected, and
which is the part I love.
Yeah, the total actually, even take the squat out. I didn't have a great day otherwise. I think I pulled 738 and bench like 529 or something like that, and the total was like 2,300 and change with the kilo stuff, and that's like a top 50 all-time total for 275, which like it's pretty good, you know. Like I'm cool with that, and it was just one of those things where I wanted to kind of, there's lots of like nose up at single ply, right? Because it's kind of like you're kind of toe in the water, but to me I liked it because it was scary again. Like picking up 1,100 pounds and multiply to me isn't really scary anymore. And picking up 1035 is like, I've been squatting that for 6 years. Yeah. So I don't give a fuck about it. But when you pick it up in single ply, you're like, oh, I am in danger.
There's not like, as much support, bro. That's a
like,
fact.
You just feel like you're going to explode. So I liked that kind of finding that like, this is scary. I don't know what this is going to be like. It's exciting. And so it kind of like, it excited me to train. And now I'm real stoked to get back into multiply and do that again. And like have that as kind of like, it's a good way to train, man, because it's fucking hard. So now I'll wear my single ply brief sometimes when I'm training just to like make shit more difficult, or if I want to get a good workout, but I know my CNS is kind of fucked, I'll wear the single ply briefs. I basically handle a plate less and get a bunch of work in. And then I know when I put my briefs back on, it's all good.
Oh, it's like a tool to,
to
the overall chest.
Yeah, you can kind of like figure out how to put it in there. And I think that from a business aspect, like we talked about when I told you I was going to do it,
I loved it.
You know what I mean? It helps like broaden, because all of a sudden I got a bunch of followers on Trigger Warning that were like single ply USPA people and like that sort of thing, where that culture isn't really conjugate, isn't really like the fact that I came from West Side and all that stuff. Like they don't really fuck with that. So
now they do.
But now they do. So now I've got people who have hit me up about single ply coaching and stuff like that, because I had to figure it out like under the gun. Yeah. Like when I put a bench shirt on at that meet, that was the second time I put that bench shirt on.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I had no idea.
Sounds about like Cole. He came and got the
really
suit the night before.
Right now. Yeah.
It's like whatever. You know what I mean? Like it was like, I know how to bench press, right? Like you knew how to squat at that meet where you just said, fuck it. It's like, fuck it, put it on me. We'll see what happens. You know, I did take a token bench opener, and I was really nervous about that, because I was like,
well, yeah, if you bomb on it for some reason,
I was
you're
like,
fucked.
I was like, I don't want to lose this record. So I was like, I'm just going to open with 137 raw.
Oh, is that what you did?
Yeah.
That's smart.
And I was like, and some people think that's pussy, but like, whatever, dude.
No, fuck
it. You know what I mean?
Hey, like, but are they the ones that have world records?
Exactly.
Yeah. Playing checkers, we're out here playing chess. You know?
Right.
So I was like, I opened with that, and like, you know, you warm up to your last warm up in the shirt, then you take it off and go out and do the thing, and then put your shirt back on and take your second, make a 400-pound jump or whatever.
That's hilarious.
But I was more nervous for the token, because I have not paused a bench in a competition, like a raw pause, since my fucking second powerlifting.
What if you missed it?
That's what I'm saying. And that happened to my wife Val at her first multiply meet, because she tokened her bench. Yeah. And on her opener, she double pumped it, and they called her for up and down. And she's like, "What do I do now?" And I go, "Put your shirt on and hope you get one." Yeah. Now it's too late.
Oh shit!
Now the security's out the window.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So I was super nervous. And people were like joking, like, "Whoa, be careful, bro!" Like, and I was like, "Yo, shut up!" Like I'm nervous about this, but it ended up working out, and it was really.
What a cool strategy too, to like get your name on an elite list, widen the base of business. Put yourself in a scary situation. Like at the end of the day, that's where the growth is at, Anthony.
Yeah.
And that's why I think there's a lot of closed-mindedness in these different silos where yours has never really felt like that to me, which is why I've always fucked with you. And I think that that's only going to help everything grow. It already has.
Yeah, for sure. And that's like stuff I've learned from y'all, like from you guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you guys are younger than me, but like I've learned from you guys that like you don't just stay in your lane. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys have multiple lanes. And it's not like a disrespect to those. Like, you say stay in your lane, like, motherfucker, you don't know what you're talking about. It's not disrespect to be in the different lanes when you're good at it or you're learning or whatever.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just like these two kids are fucking killing it. You know what I'm saying? And that's
We're on that killers only mentality, boy.
That's a huge compliment to you, because
thanks.
obviously you're like grooming them to be good at all this stuff, but also like just the growth I've seen in you two. In what have I been around for, like 2 years with you guys?
Yeah,
I'm fucking
yeah.
around a little bit. It's crazy to see, you know what I mean, from the outside looking in. I don't know how many people pump your tires, but I'm pumping your tires. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys have both been fucking killing it, like on all aspects, and you can see it if you pay attention. And that's so to me that's inspiring. Like, I don't use that word.
This is a great fucking segue, because what I think would be great about this podcast is your block of time that you was in Ohio.
Oh,
That's what I want to talk about, because I met you. How long you been in Ohio, Anthony?
We're coming up on, like, September would be 6 years.
Okay.
Or 5 or 6 years. You know, it's a blur, bro.
Yeah, so I mean,
Lots of weird shit.
Yeah, we've been like operating with you for a couple years. I met you roughly maybe a year previous to that at Westside one time.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, I met you in the morning. You're talking on that Sunday.
On that Sunday morning.
So
That's the one I remember.
That was the first time. That was the first time. That was like the first time, like, before I got kicked out or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think that was probably 4 years ago.
Okay, so that's
a year before we started chatting during the pandemic and shit.
That's right. Okay, so but what I've seen is, and let's say since that time I ran into you after a Sunday bench session at Westside, the amount of growth that you have had, so when we pump your tires up, has been amazing. And I think that if people can understand that, like, when you came to Ohio, what your situation was, what you came off battling, the kind of money you had, what your mindset was like.
Oh, yeah.
Now, as you're leaving
crazy different.
Ohio to go purchase this gym, continue to build the business, that block is significant. And we've only known each other really for like 2 to 3 years, but I've been aware of you since like the one major big squad at Showtime the other, you know what I mean? So it's like, I can't even believe I actually mentioned his name. So the
shame on you.
Yeah, what the hell?
Shame on you.
See, because I'm not a hater.
Baby Huey.
Exactly. Who was that?
Exactly.
So but it's like that amount of time is you've made a significant increase. So
yeah, it's kind of like tunnel vision is good, right? But it was tunnel vision on everything when I first came out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like I was not interested in anything outside of what the fuck I was trying to do, which probably helped propel me a little bit in that. But I definitely lost opportunities because of that. Okay. So it's like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes, like, there was a situation. There's a clothing company called Ritual Apparel. They're pretty big in the rock community. I've become friendly with the owner. They kill, like, they crush, right? And we messaged. He was on the podcast. We messaged on the trigger warning page, and then he responded to one of my stories on my personal page. And he had messaged me like 4 years ago, responded to something, and I was just, my response, like, get the fuck out of my DMs. Like, I was like, I was straight, like, get fucked.
Because all you cared about was lifting weights?
I didn't care about I cared about lifting weights, and I don't know you. I don't want to fucking know you. Like,
gotcha.
Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? And I like saw that when he messaged me.
Because it was
and I
still
like,
in the line.
It was right there, dude. It was because it was a one message deep, so it was staring us both in the face. And I'm like, I just apologized to the guy. I was like, yo, man, like, I was a piece of shit then. I'm sorry. Like, I hope that you can look past that and we're good. You know what I mean? And he was like, oh, bro, like, it's all good. I was like, I was a really angry guy at that point. And I think that was part of the culture of the gym I was at, for sure. It's hard to, the turning point was really when I started fucking with you, and you kind of explained, like, the turning point was when I was okay with saying, yo, I want to make money.
Yeah.
There's no glory in being poor.
No.
There's no glory.
What's so
in that.
fun about being broke?
It's like, if there's nothing wrong with it if you don't have money and you're good with that, but it is okay to say, yo, I want money.
Yeah. Well, I want to, like, benefit from what I'm really good at.
Support
and
my
I can
family.
teach people and support my family. There's no, like, that's why I never understood, and especially in multiplies even more, for some reason, was like people felt like they were sellouts if they went and actually made money off being great at something. I never fucking understood that.
Yeah,
so
that's still the
every
culture.
one of the West Side guys that would fuck with me that had businesses, that's why I got along with them, because they got it, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like, it was so crazy to me. Like, I just never got it.
And they were quote unquote corny.
Yeah,
and
to
just
the other
like I
guys.
was.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, you little T-shirt company, your T-shirt guy.
The
you're
T-shirt
this-
guy, that's my favorite
Oh,
thing.
I'm a T-shirt guy. It's like, yeah, T-shirt guy.
You gotta go
motherfucker.
fuck
Yeah,
yourself.
Like,
Yeah.
where are you at now, dude? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not on a 40-foot ladder anymore. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I'm making money in my house, and so that mentality change has been big for me.
Mm-hmm.
Putting myself out there in uncomfortable positions was another thing too, because it's very safe when you're like, I train at 5 a.m. at Westside. I don't give a fuck about anything else. I don't give a fuck what I look like. I don't give a fuck if I die young. I'm like this. That's a safe, it sounds dangerous, but it's safe because you're only in this one little thing.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I never have to worry about like anything else. I don't have to worry about finding time for fun. I don't have to worry about finding
Because it's
time.
not about any of that stuff.
Right. It's just like, I had the balls to say to my mother, it's so embarrassing to me, but I told her when I moved out here, I said, I was 30 when I moved out here, and I said, if I squat 1,000 when I'm 32 and die when I'm 33, I'm cool with that. I said that to my mom.
And you were serious.
And I was like, yeah, and I'm like beating my chest, and it's like, you're an asshole for saying that to your mom. You know what I mean? And I believed, and at the time, I believed
So
it.
I would argue, though, to be potentially great, it can't be all the way wired tight anyway, bro.
I know,
so
yeah,
like
you gotta
that,
be a
that's
little-
kind of my point. So like part of that West Side mentality is what I've grabbed to try to pull into my guys, and there's other parts that I don't want to pull
Sure.
in here, but that edge is what I was drawn to because it is crazy,
Yeah.
which gives you non-mediocre results,
Right.
which I would argue is obviously part of what helped you get here,
Yeah.
right? So it's like you get the bad and the good, but it's like people don't understand, to be great, it has to be a version of that, a little bit.
Yeah, you got to just be able to, but it's easy. It's like when people say like, fine, I won't fucking do it anymore. It's like, that's easy. You need to find the balance of like crazy and calculated.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's like, there is something where it's like, you know, like you've said to me before, like there's some days where you come straight here because you're up all night and you do your work and then you go home and you pass out, right? That's not sustainable. No. If you did that all the time, you'd fall apart, right? Yeah. But knowing when you have to and pull the trigger and not be a bitch about it, and then other times being like, yo, I need to fucking sleep. You know what I mean? Like I can't, you know, and there is like a balance there that you have to find. That's the hard part. It's easy to be crazy. For me, anyway, it's easy to be a fucking psycho all the time. That is not.
We got to pull that clip.
No. It is not hard for me to be fucking a maniac all
yeah.
the time. But I think something that it just came to my mind, something that started was like an early change for me was two things. I was running my business off of my phone only, right? And so anytime we had a Facebook group, and I didn't want to ever miss notifications for people posting their videos in there. So I'd get the notification. If I opened my Facebook, I didn't want to lose it. So I'd have to immediately coach that video right then. So I'm out to dinner with my girl. Like I'm eating dinner. I'm whatever, right? I'm up on a ladder. I'm doing all this shit, right? And then so I bought a computer and got a separate Facebook page for that. So I only worked on that, right? So that was step one. Step two was Thursdays I didn't work because it was an off day from the gym. At the time, my girl had Thursdays off.
Got it.
So we had a day where we could get up, go get breakfast, take
You
the
had
dogs
separation.
to the park, had like that day, right? Now come 6:30, 7:30, I was stressing about squatting Friday morning, but I at least had that part of the day. And I think that was like kind of the beginning of that, like
some type of balance.
Yeah. And like, I know that whole like balance is for cowards, and I understand that mentality. I think it's important where it's like you have to be all in. But like you get to be my age, like I'm 36, you know what I'm saying? Like there is something like happy wife, happy life is real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like having a healthy home life is real, and it's really helped me with stuff outside of my house.
I don't know a lot of people that have chaotic home lives that are very successful.
They might be really successful for a second, and then it explodes.
It explodes because it's hard to go home and then deal with that on top of it.
Yeah.
I've seen it a million times.
Yeah.
I think Brian Peters talks about great violence and great peace.
Yeah.
And I think that right there is the actual balance.
Sure.
That you can be violent, crazy squat, whatever. You can turn it up and it's authentic. That's not fake.
Yeah.
You got your whole top of your fucking head tattooed.
I do.
You know?
It was awful.
So, yeah. So it's like, but then also talking about your wife, your dog. You see what I'm saying? To be able to go back effectively and be present in both of those verticals is really important.
And it ain't soft.
Hell no,
you're not soft for that. No. You know what I'm saying? Like when that shit, dude, I cried about that dog so much. That fucked me up. And I did not think that would, like, I remember, I'm trying not to get emotional about it, but I remember when I was leaving, because I went to WPO, Val flew down for just the day, but I had to get down there a couple days early because I needed to, like, settle in. Yeah. And Winnie, my dog, was like, she couldn't even open her eye. Like, she was fucked up on the couch. Like, the shit was fucked, right? And I remember just, like, getting on one knee before I got on the plane, leave to go on the plane, and hugging her, just being like, you got to stay alive for, like, 4 more days. Because she was getting the surgery the day after WPO. Yeah. And I was like, you just have to stay alive for, like, just make it 4 days, dude. Like, I can't leave and have you come back to a dead dog. Like, I need you to stay. And I'm not like, that's not soft. Like, giving a fuck is not soft.
No, and having feelings is not soft.
And I think that that's part of the transition that I made, though, that made me successful too. Because if you can be empathetic to somebody, or to a situation, you can learn from them, and you can, and then they feed off of that, right? So like when someone messages me and needs help or whatever, if I'm not feeling it, I'll still be helpful because I can be empathetic and I can have those feelings, right? Yeah. And that's a balance too, not getting taken advantage of and all that stuff. There's no secret to it. No. You know what I'm saying? You just have to fucking figure it out as you go. Like, is it okay to be a little softer here now and a little harder with this person here? It's a hard balance to find. You're good with it. You must be good with it, because I'm sure your DMs are fucking
I try.
Stock full of
I get annoyed though and start giving, like, here's the way I always think. What answer would I give if they were right here in front of me?
I love that. You said that to me before. I love that.
Because some people need checked, bro. And I would, if somebody asked me that certain question, this is the answer. And I'll even say, I'm not trying to be a dick. Yeah. I am answering this how I would answer it if you were standing in front of me at my gym. Yeah. Like, you ask me if you want to use lifting gloves, and I'd say, no, you're a fucking pussy, throw them away. I would throw them in the fucking trash. Yeah. So it's like, that's why I try to like run things that way. You know what I mean?
Because some people honestly do need punch in the throat. Some people just need a hug. You never know. You never know.
Kick in the pants or slap on the ass, right? Like, it's one or the other, right? And I think that having that always tough mentality is, I think that it's hard, right? Because right now I have, like, to bring it to lifting, right? I used to train it was too much. Like, the what I did was too much, and it's why I ended up getting hurt. It's why I've had some injuries and whatever. But that overtraining, quote unquote, is probably why my squat went from 905 to 1075 in less than 2 years.
There you go.
So it's hard to tell someone, pull the reins back on them, when they can go back on my Instagram. I'm like, motherfucker, look at what you were doing. Then and it's like, well, first of all, you're not me. Yeah. So you know what I mean? So there's that. But second of all, like, it is kind of confusing and can be hard to explain to someone when to pull that trigger, when to go, when to not. You know what I mean? Like, how bad does your knee have to be fucked up for you to break your lunge streak? There is a moment where you say, I can't do this right now. You know what I'm saying?
I was pretty close a couple weeks ago when I banged up my back, and I couldn't get out of the car, could barely walk up the stairs, but still lunged down.
I saw that video.
But I was at that point. Savage. It was like first 100. I was like, should you really be doing this? Well,
like 2 or 3 days of that, and you're fucked, right? Like, it's like there comes a point where you do have to know when to kind of pull it back. And I think that if there was one thing in my time here that I've learned is, like, when to go and when to sit down and shut up, and you know what I mean. And the arrogance level was real high when I first got out here too.
Got it.
Started humble because I was like, oh, I'm the new guy at Westside. Like, oh, you know what I mean? And then my second meet here, I squatted 1,000, and it was a 100-pound PR. And I was like, oh, I'm the best fucking power lifter around. And if you're not Westside, fuck you. Yeah. And I had to get smacked down to reality a couple times. Sure. Figuratively and literally.
But also, like, I think that confidence was what I was drawn to reach out. Like, because I saw you squat when you beat Greg's record. Fuck Westside, motherfucker. Like, that video is always going to play. And I was like, all right, I fuck with this guy because he believes in himself. And so, like, I'm usually drawn to the more outlandish people than people probably realize. Like, I was always a Deion Sanders fan. I like really confident people if it's real. Yeah. Right? And it's got to be real if you go and squat. What was the number for that record?
One was 1065.
To be on the board at Westside, right? 1065. I'm like,
it had been up there for like 8 years too.
Yeah, a long time. And I was friends with Greg back in the day, so I remember like he was a fucking great lifter. Savage lifter, right?
Maniac.
Really good lifter. And so, I'm like, well, this motherfucker just took off Greg. So I'm like, all right. And then I was just kind of paying attention to what you were doing. I was like, so it's like I would say like part of the package of Anthony is these things you had to go through, which put you on the map, got you exposure. You were being authentic at that time.
Yeah.
But the shift doesn't mean you're a worse lifter, because you're obviously not.
Right.
But then you can build like a book of work from a business standpoint that's pretty awesome, I think, with the growth.
A little more mature, I think, with everything. And I think that, that balance, like we talked about, has just been such a big fucking deal for me with the lifting, and then that translates to my business. You know what I mean? And having an open mind and talking about like systems, having systems in play, and that goes for lifting too, right? Because I would go in there and be like, "Let's go, motherfucker. What bar are we using? I don't even give a fuck. It's Monday morning. Like, let's throw whatever on there, and I'm gonna smoke all of you. Like, that's how I was about it. You know what I mean? And now I think about it ahead of time. And then when we were talking, the first time we talked on the phone, for any amount of time, we were talking about systems to put in place. Like, this is how you do your pricing. This is how you know what I mean? Create a story with your social media type of stuff. I was
trying to hip them to the game.
You know what I mean? And learning that was big for me. And because it wasn't just fly by the seat of my pants. I wasn't just thinking about, I got this t-shirt graphic. I'm going to put this t-shirt graphic out right now. I'm going to get, as soon as it gets delivered, I'm posting it. And it's like, I learned, you got the box of hoodies or whatever. Cool. Sit on it for a second. Get some video with it on. Get some pictures with it on, because that's just going to, they're going to sell out either way, but this is going to create a bigger demand. And that was a big thing for me too, because I always thought that shit was kind of cheesy. I don't need systems, bro. Like, it is what it is. Like, and it's like, but it's like nobody who's successful thinks that way.
No,
that's not. You know what I'm saying? No one who's crushing.
Yeah, look at who's telling you that.
You know what I mean? Like, you might get good results for a second.
Yeah, short term.
Yeah, you're not going to be. So it's like we've talked about it before, where it's like that's not how you build a 7-figure business.
It's not.
That's just not.
And that's something I had to work on a lot too, because that's not real like natural for me, because I can sling it and get good results too. Yeah. But when I put some systems in, or had people around me that have their own systems that contribute, made my life way better. Danny's one of them. Who's, hey Danny, so Danny's shout out to Danny. Danny's systems with the Corey G Fitness business were major.
Well, you can see you're growing, like even like in the time that, who the fuck am I to tell you what's good and what isn't when it comes to but like, dude, like I've seen your social media presence and your like how you run shit has elevated so much, and that's really sick to see that, people need to pay attention to that, because like you could coast, man. Like, let's be fucking honest. Like, you could get on your heels and coast. You don't need to be doing it. So
I tried to kind of put my brain like that before. It doesn't work that way though. Yeah. That's what's so weird about me. Like, so you realize that it's not really a money thing. Oh, I'm driven by making money. Don't get me wrong. Like, I like to make money, but like, it just doesn't, I don't know. It's just one of those things. I think it's the challenge. I started to realize more in this process, me and Max Effort, Corey G, the podcast that we're building, like that, the sauce is really in the process, in the enjoyment.
That's the fun strategy. Part, right?
So a lot of people look past that though, because I already had one process that did what it was, right? And it did well, but it's like I was so stressed during the process, I really didn't have that much fun at times. Yeah. I had some cool shit happen that's like legendary, and I got a lot of exposure, but like getting in with these younger dudes and really like getting these strategies and making this content and building this stuff, like I'm having so much fun. I'm at the office more since we in this last year than I probably was the previous 5 years. And Cole would see me like,
dude, I would see him maybe an hour.
No shit.
Leave. I remember I used to ask you like every morning if you were coming into the office.
Yeah,
like, it was a question like, are
that's
you coming
so sick
today?
Though that you love it that much, and you don't like. And you don't need like dude, you could sit back, and that's so cool to me.
All my stuff's online.
Yeah, you could just sit back.
But I would argue that the team's not going to be here if I'm not going to hear. We do it as a team, right? Yeah. So that because it's an actual team. Yeah. So that's where like I think I was telling these guys the other day, like, yo, I've seen a business go to 10 million. I've seen the business go to 100 million. Like, this thing can go to 8 figures. Yeah. I built multiple 7-figure businesses. I built the 9-figure business. I want to build an 8-figure business. Yeah. I want to be able to sell 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Come get it.
That's fuck yeah.
That's so with the new crew. You know what I mean? So it's like, It's exciting because that process, like I always tell these guys in the morning too. Kyle used to capture pictures for me. Trey's been doing it now for almost 3 years. It's like we're capturing our golden era right now.
Yeah,
this is it.
You're in it.
I'm in it right now. I recognize that.
Yes.
So that's why I don't miss workouts. I'm so excited to be here. Like I know exactly what part of my career I'm in.
Well, your peak keeps like getting pushed forward, right?
I'm pushing it forward.
Yeah, and I like that, like enjoying the process of something.
Yeah.
It's like, man, like I don't really want an orgasm without foreplay, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? like that's the fun part, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
let's like, you know, obviously like people want to see, you know, when you release something, you want to see like cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. But the fun part is like filming the Willy Wonka videos and doing all that. Like,
dude, that was
standing around. Like I was here when you guys were, what was it? It was like the Rager, right?
Oh, the Weekend Rager.
I was here when that,
you
like,
were in it.
when
That was an epic
when that
one.
video, like when that like idea kind of came together, like what are we gonna call it? And everybody, and that's like, you remember that, right? Like you won't necessarily remember.
I'm not gonna remember some big sales day,
sitting
bro, over
down,
that.
down, smoking a cigar, and it's going ching ching, and you're seeing it like that's something I enjoy. Like I release stuff on Fridays, right? And I always do it at 5 p.m. And I get in my car at 5 p.m. to go to the gym.
Okay.
And so it's sick when I have to turn off the notification on my phone because I can't listen to my music because I keep getting the fucking notification.
Fucking love
like,
it.
Fuck yeah. But going back and forth with my artist, with designs, and coming up with strategies with my wife about when we're going to put it out, what we're going to put out, that's fun. That is more fun. It's more fun. It's not as, I guess, like, it's exciting because it's the anticipation is fun, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like the build up, you know what I mean?
The
Like,
Willy Wonka is
process
exactly
of,
that.
the process of it.
it's so much more fun. Like, and so enjoying that, if you're just looking for the end result, it's not going to be there. Like you can't hack that first part. You have to do the first
Bro,
part. You don't get the second
I've already
part.
lived the end result, Anthony.
Yeah.
That's part of like it's not the end, like I'm done end, but I saw it.
Yeah.
And so I've experienced parts of it. So to me, I had to come back. It's like I almost lived it in reverse, kind of. Like, you know, growing up hard, getting to a high level end result, but then realizing like I'm not done. And now I need to enjoy the process even more because this is like the authentic Muscle Farm. That's what we're in right now. Old school max effort. That's what I was trying to build the first time around. It just turned into something different. Yeah. Right. But now this time around, being the majority owner, having the gym all under one, like we're building the authentic version of what I always, because this is completely authentic. That's
Total
why
freedom too, right?
Total freedom. And that's why it feels easy. Yeah. Because we're just doing what we do. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's really refreshing. And that's why I think I'm enjoying the process so much.
If you're real, you don't have to like, it's not work. I hate that. Like, if you enjoy what you do, you'll never work a day in your life because it is work.
No, there's still some bullshit. That's a fact.
There's an authenticity part of it because I remember the first shirts that we put out. It just Trigger Warning Conjugate had the globe with the chains that Stay Hated on the back, right? And one of my homies, like one of the original 8 people that were in my group, it's like this kid Richie, who's like, he sent me a picture that he took of me at that last meet, like made me cry and shit. He's the realest. But anyway, he got the shirts made, like back in New Hampshire, and he just mailed me one. Like we only had like 10 of them made. Dope. Right? And I was like, yeah, can you get this put on a shirt? Like whatever else, you know. And he sent me a picture, and I just posted a picture in my living room, my middle finger's up. And people went fucking bananas. And then we did a pre-order, and I sold like 84 shirts, right?
And you had no clue that was even a market for you, did you?
No idea, right? And I remember being on the phone with my mom.
Yeah.
I was driving in the car, and I was driving Uber. And I remember I was talking to
her. There it is.
Yeah, I was like hustling, dude. Like I was trying to, and I was talking to her, and I was like, the best part about this is I'll never have to fake who I am because the picture that made people buy this shirt is me with my middle finger up, my big throat tattoo. Fuck y'all. I'll never have to.
But that's the
anything.
cheat code, though. We talk about
cheat
this.
Code.
It's like
the more outlandish shit you do,
that's authentic.
That's authentic. It works.
If it's real, it's like because people see through it if it's bullshit.
Yeah,
right?
Dude.
But
Donnie
if it's
Traps, real.
very like
Willy
dude,
Wonka, real.
You can tell you guys actually have fun here. You actually have fun here. So like none of it seems like bullshit.
No.
You know what I mean? It all
That's why it's
seems
working.
real.
Yeah, and that's where it comes back to the balance because obviously, like we're in here fucking grinding. Like some of the strategies we're stressing out. How can we outdo the last crazy shit we've done? Basically, and basically like, but the content and everything, that's our fun. So we have the hard shit and the fun.
Yeah, that's our balance.
It's the
really.
fucking cheat code.
No one wants to make phone calls on like insurance and loans and like all going through that process with this gym that I bought and all this stuff is like a nightmare. But the end result, like you said, like the process and
You got so much better at business just by understanding all that stuff,
man.
Anthony.
And it's sick to look back and be like, man, me sitting at my desk, like being like, what the fuck? Like, you know, being on the phone with all these bankers and shit and calling you and being like, what does this mean? What the fuck is this form that they're sending me?
But not being scared to like do that though, Anthony. That's how you grow. Because I had to do that shit too. Everybody does,
You said to me on the phone in the middle of all, I mean, this was, man, how long has this process been to try to buy this gym? It's been like probably 4 months, 6 months, something like that.
4 to 6 months.
And I remember you saying to me, like, the difference between people who are successful and who are not is the people who are successful don't stop. Yeah. Like when you hit the wall. Like, what'd you say? You went through 11 fucking banks?
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, I went through fucking 6 or 7. We didn't even end up going through a fucking bank.
But
like,
yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I'm saying? Like, it was like
because you found the solution.
It was like an abstract thing that we ended up working out. And it's just one of those things where if I had one poo-poo day where I was like, man, like, this is fucked. Like, I'm never gonna make this happen.
We all have those days.
And then I was like, dude, it happened. It was like, it happened real quick. I remember they denied me the loan, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I sent them an email back, like, yo, like, what if I got a cosigner? What if I put more money down? And they're like, it doesn't change anything. And I remember just being like, how the fuck am I gonna do this? Like, how am I gonna do this? This is never gonna happen. And then I was like, fuck this. Found another bank, started talking to them. Like that day, I had like a little moment of like, woe is me. And it's like, no one can fucking save you, bro. Like, no one can save you. And if you sit on your heels with this shit, you're gonna live in a 1-bedroom apartment in Hilliard for the rest of your fucking life. Like, fuck this. You know what I mean? And
you made your mind up, bro.
Yeah, I was like, nah, this ain't happening. Like, my wife is not going to serve tables for the rest of her life. Fuck that. Like, it ain't happening.
Fucking love it.
And so that was like a motivator for me, like big time, to get her out of that situation and to, you know, if I'm being honest, to prove a bunch of these motherfuckers wrong.
Love that. Hey, you need a chip on your shoulder, bro.
Like, I that to me is like making that post and seeing how much it got sent.
Yeah.
And being like, I know it got sent this amount of times.
Yeah,
and
some of it's for good.
I know some of those. All right, you know what I mean? This motherfucker. And it's like now it's not, because a couple years ago I could say, oh, they hate on me because they're mad I'm successful. And it's like, successful at what, man? I sold fucking 40 t-shirts. Like, what, you know, successful. And that's how I like justify it. But now it's like legitimate. It's like, well, if you're mad about it now, you're mad at yourself, dog. It has nothing to do with me.
It has nothing to do with you, bro.
Because we're doing something that's real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so
half these people that hate on me ain't got nothing to do with me. I already know it.
It says more about.
Come on, man.
It says more about them.
Yeah, of course.
What did you say? It's a local issue. And
bro. I don't even play in the regional game, bro. Like, it's a local issue. I mean, that's the way I try. Because I mean, look, we're all humans.
Yeah.
So it's gonna hurt your feelings, right? I mean, it's got to me, it's
feel
got
good.
more calloused over time, right? But the reality is, when I first started seeing that happen, I was like, these motherfuckers don't even know me. Like, where does this come from? I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's just what it is. That's part of it, because it's just showing separation.
Becoming more calloused to that stuff is, I think, when you talk about my block of time here, is big too, because I couldn't handle.
That shows a lot of maturity, by the way, too.
Yeah, dude, because I used to get in it on Facebook and Instagram, and like I had a couple squats that got shared around that work. I mean, let's be realistic; they were fucking 2 or 3 inches high. They were bullshit. And, like, I wasn't going to admit that then.
Yeah,
you know?
of course.
But
Love it.
And I would respond to everyone, and be like, "Man, you're the one who sucks at squatting," like, you know, and whatever. And so
I fucking love this.
But to me, it's like, you know, like. Now I can look at that stuff, and it does. Sometimes they do get me. Like, there'll be like one comment that you'll be like, fucking guy got me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, fuck. But being able to just move past that, not respond to it, and I think that's been a big thing from
Don't give it no power, bro.
Yeah, you're like, okay, cool, man. That sucks that you feel that way. I'm big on responding to people who talk shit about squats and whatever now with just like, dude, thanks, man. I'm going to try to do better next time. And throw them to like one of these. Because they don't know what to do with it.
No, they don't.
You might be reeling them in, you know?
Yeah,
That's the play. It's like, you know what?
I've
Hate on
turned
me
people
now.
that hated
You'll
me
love
that ended up starting to like me because of comments like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, all right, this dude actually saw my comment and like ain't a douche, then
Maybe
I'll fuck with him now.
They just want any response, especially
Yeah.
someone at your level. Like, they just want a response from you. So if they're like, oh, you're a fucking pussy, whatever, and you're like, oh, dude, I'm sorry. I'm working my hardest. Like, I'm sorry you feel that way. They're like, oh, he responded to me.
Yeah.
They just
so
want to get
funny,
any
bro.
sort of reaction, you know? And I think that's been part of the big growth for me too, is that, you know, not responding to that stuff, or responding in a way where it's like funny instead of like getting mad about it.
Turn a negative to a positive is one of the things I learned at MP with social media a ton, because we had a lot of that stuff, and I was like, man,
They
if I
hate
can,
on you there?
Well, yeah, just because they hate on anything that's big, right? So it's like if you can flip it somehow, then you win a customer for life. So I always start, and I'm always trying to look at stuff half full anyway, right? Glass half full. But when I would, or even like a business situation, like there'd be like some major business situation, and if I could like somehow make that person that was already so pissed at us and flip it. Like we call people all the time. Somebody's like, fuck you guys, I didn't get my order in time and they forgot this. I'll fucking FaceTime them.
No
Bro,
way.
yeah, 100%.
I love that. You will?
Yeah, absolutely.
They get a FaceTime from
Yeah,
Corey G,
yeah.
and
I'll
they're
call
like,
them on
"What the
their
fuck?"
fucking cell phone. Or if they don't answer, I'll text them like, yo, it's Corey G, pick up.
Dude, that's incredible.
I do it all the time, because then I'm like, I got a chance that they're mad about something. I want them to know that I take it serious, that it came across my desk and I'm going to handle it.
Yeah.
And if then I can create some type of experience for them, then they have no reason to continue feeling that way.
Well, and if they
I can just say sorry. Hey, sorry, you fucked
and
it
if
up.
they're mad about some bullshit, that you checking them real quick, because then they have to say. I had someone complain about a T-shirt, and kind of in a shitty way.
Yeah.
They were saying that something about the sleeve. They said one sleeve was smaller than the other, which is just not.
Maybe one arm's
Just
smaller
didn't
than the
it's
other.
like, do your one arm push down.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what's going on?
That's funny.
So I was like, dude, no problem.
Yeah.
Send me the order number. Send me a picture of the T-shirt. Keep it, and I'll send you another one. But because he said he wanted like the different color or something.
It's probably more about that.
They just wanted that, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, dude, no problem. Send me your address. Don't have to pay for it. Just take a picture. Oh no worries, bro. It's all good. I'll just wear it like it is. Like, well, then you didn't really have a problem. You just want to complain because you know what I mean? But if I had responded with the fuck you,
the old Anthony response,
or left him on
the
red,
fuck out of my DMs.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
small.
Dude, I can't believe I said that. Dude, I can't believe I said that to that dude. It's
That's
so embarrassing.
amazing.
It's so bad. I was like, get out of my fucking DMs, bro. Like, get out of here. So anyway, like if I had responded in a combative way, but now that person's a lifer.
Yeah, of
you know what I'm
course.
saying? And that's actually something that I learned from this dude, Andy. We kind of had a falling out, but I learned from Andy, who owns Norse Fitness, was just like with returns. He's like, with somebody returning something, you're gonna lose your ass on it.
Yeah,
because you got to pay for the shipping.
And you're about to lose the customer too.
Yeah, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose money on the return label because you got to do all this bullshit, right? He goes, but if you just do that, they're gonna stay a customer because you're gonna keep them happy. And to me, that kind of like changed my viewpoint on it, because before I was like, if you don't like it, go bang your ankles, bro.
Yeah,
that's not my fucking problem. You know what I mean? Like, that's not my problem. And it was just like me acting like a total brickhead. And it's like, when in actuality, I should be like, I'm sorry, I'm providing you a service here, and whatever. Something else I wanted to touch on with the growth thing. I just keep thinking of stuff. And
Please.
I just had a pre-order done. We talked about it. They came back fucked up, right? They weren't terrible. They were just not
your normal standard, though.
Yeah, to me, it wasn't brand standard. It wasn't like, I don't know, man. Like, if I paid $55 for a hoodie, that shit better be tight.
Were they like faded or something?
They were. They printed only some. It was a black garment with a design that had some black ink, black color on it, and they printed the black ink on some of it, and some of it they let it be transparent. So like the two different color blacks look different.
Weird.
It looked like shit.
Yeah.
Now, from me to you, it might not look too bad, but when you look at it, like, it looks like somebody peeled it or something.
Yeah. Well, and if you're trying to take yourself serious, you can't put shit out like that.
I don't want fast fashion.
Yeah,
with what I want people to get it and be like, yo, this is dope.
Yeah.
I like this.
I can't wait to wear it for my next squat workout.
Forever. Yeah, you know what I mean? And all that stuff. So it's like, I had to make sure the quality was there. Now, before I would have tripped. I would have lost my fucking mind, or I would have put them out anyway. But having like the poise to, like you said, pivot.
Yep.
You know, we've had these issues before where it was like, I was going to have a drop on a Friday. I got the shit on Wednesday. It looked like ass. I had to change the drop to a pre-order, explain to people. But that honesty and that authenticity,
huge, bro.
People see it and they're like, okay, now I know. I might wait an extra week, but I know when I get it, the product is what is advertised.
Yeah.
You know, and to me, that takes
That's
a lot of
short term
patience.
versus long term, bro.
It's hard to do that when you've got it sitting in front of you and you're like, yo, this is my money. And with this one, I'm like, you know, the hoodies, I'm actually losing money with what I had to do. But it's more important to me that the customer gets something because then you have them long term. Because especially with something expensive like hoodie sweatpants, you know, if they get it and it's bullshit, they're not going to even buy a fucking T-shirt from you again.
Yeah, they ain't going to spend $50 again.
You have to make sure that they're happy. So it's like, I'll take a little bit of a hit on this to make sure that the next time I put out a product, these people are stoked on it.
Yeah.
And that was like a big moment for me, learning that over the past like year or so. And you've helped me with a lot of that
just
too.
Hearing the talk like as a business, you sound like a real ass businessman now, Anthony.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I kept telling him as he was going through those processes and not giving up. And I was like, look, this is like the difference between me and a lot of these other guys.
Yeah.
I've went through all these processes and I didn't let it beat me. And I figured out a solution and I won. And then I figured out a solution for the next thing and I won. And then it never stopped, and it just continued that process of persevering through it. And I just knew I could have a better service than this, I knew I could do these things, but I just knew it wasn't going to be easy. And I always thought of the long-term stuff, and that's what we keep doing here now too. Like even with the Willy Wonka stuff, like it took me and us a month to come up with, like Cole had the idea for the content, but the strategy around the deal to beat other people in the marketplace and to be good still for our business. And like I had it on my notes section written down like early October. You need the deal to have this, this, and this. Like there's components I wanted, and it sat there. And then I didn't even tell these guys about it, but it was already in my mind. And then I would come over to the whiteboard, and it just wouldn't flow out. And then one day it was like, bang, 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 bang. And then Cole's like, that's when we can put that Willy Wonka shit on top of it too. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I love that.
Yeah, dude. So it's like, you know, just really thinking of the long-term stuff, because you really think you're going to be here 10 years from now, building a big and that's
and putting yourself
key.
around these dudes too,
bro.
right? And putting them around you, right? Like I know you said you didn't have much experience with photography, right?
Yeah, and like I had zero experience with photography before I started with
And
Corey.
and that's dope. Because
Isn't that crazy?
It's like you saw the motivation of him to get it going, and you actually like did it. Like you weren't just talking. It wasn't just jaw. It was real, right?
Yep.
And allowing him to grow with that and get better and better and better, and sort of like grooming you guys to do all this stuff, that puts you in a better position. So when you have that moment where you're like, this is the deal, and you hit him with the Willy Wonka, like, it's putting yourself around the right people, right?
For sure.
I think that's another thing too. If we're talking about my time here, is like being around the right people, not being around the negative. You know,
you're not really right. You haven't been around negative people in a while.
In a minute, dude.
Yeah.
It's been a real.
That's like a washing machine.
You gotta
bro.
weed them out as they, you know what I mean, and the takers, and you kind of figure out. I was saying to Val, I got a good friend Cam, that was a client, and now he's just like a homie. I'm actually the garage gym. You guys have both been there, right? Yeah. I'm actually like that lease. I'm like handing it over to him. It's like a gift.
That's cool.
Cause like, and I told him like the second time he came out to train there, he's from West Virginia, but now he's in Columbus. I told him, I was like, man, we went out to eat after. I was like, man, like it's really nice to have somebody who I don't feel like is trying to get something from me.
Yeah.
You're just about it. He bought me golf clubs. Like that was a present. He bought me golf clubs. That was like cool. A present to me, because he knew I was into it, and he's like, you've done so much for me or whatever.
That's cool.
And like being around people like that who genuinely give a fuck about you, and like I'm sure this happens to you. Like it probably happens to you guys too. Like because you guys are so talented, like people you can tell like people want something.
I've insulated myself quite a bit nowadays.
If you get a chance, I'd love to. Or like I'd love to do this for you or do that, and it's like no, dude, you want a piece of what I have. You don't want to fucking help me. Like you can tell when somebody's real with that, and it's taken me a while, because I do see the good in people, and that's a problem for me. Like I see if somebody makes me laugh, like if somebody's funny, I put that really high on like the chart of like how I judge people.
Got it.
And I've had to change that. Because there's a lot of funny motherfuckers who are scumbags.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was a funny dude when I was a scumbag. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I could have slithered in on me too, you know? And so I've had to watch myself with that, and kind of like use like stiff arm people. Like keep them at a distance. And I've really kind of learned how to like be personable. It's same thing, balance, right? Because when I was tunnel vision, it was stiff arm everyone. Fuck you if you're not in. You know what I mean? And now it's like I can stiff arm someone in a way that doesn't come off shitty, where it's just like, that's great. I appreciate that, man. Not right now. Like I'm good.
Yeah, you're just creating your space.
You know what I mean? And that's been a really big, important part for me too, because, you know, even when we first started going, you'd have people like, oh, we should collab on this. It's like, why the fuck am I going to collab with you? Like, what are you fucking crazy, bro? Like, are you fucking nuts? You know what I mean? Can you imagine the first time I came out to your spot, I was like, bro, we should do a max effort trigger warning shirt. You'd be like, bro, get fucked. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why the fuck are you gonna? Why are you gonna help me out?
A lot of people they have a misconception of where their value's at. And that's just unaware people, right?
You're just asking me to give you a space in my space.
Exactly.
You're fucking crazy, bro. Like I've had the amount of shit that I had to deal with to get to where I'm at, and I'm not even at this crazy level, right?
Yeah.
The amount of shit you've gone through, it's like, I think you told, like, people ask you for a shout out on the internet. It's like, bro, for what?
Yeah, I love that.
For what?
So I did a whole rant on that. That don't happen no more.
Like,
you shout out my fitness page for what?
You have to do something noteworthy, bro.
Come
like,
on, bro.
And I've tried to be better about that, because I also went through that phase where I wouldn't pump anyone's tires who wasn't trigger warning, right?
Sure.
So it was like, but now if I see somebody, like, it doesn't matter who you're with, what team you're on. If you put something out that's dope, that I think has value for my people, I'm going to share it.
Yeah, fuck with that.
You know what I'm saying?
You asked me about that when we put you on the app a couple times.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even think twice about it. I'm like, well, Anthony's no show was bad. We did a couple knowledge bombs, whatever it was, the first couple times you came out to the new gym. And to me, it just made sense because you're a high-level guy that can add value to my lifters. And he was like, yeah, I just think it's dope that you're doing that. I'm like, just because you're going to be on there, it doesn't take away from me.
Right. There's not a finite amount of success.
No.
Right? Like, we can all be successful. You making more money doesn't take away from me.
No.
You know, like, as long as you're not stepping on my toes, I don't care. So to me, it's kind of turned into, like, you know, there's other online coaches. There's there's a handful of them, right, that have been fucking rad to me and have been awesome and put out great information. And when they post something that's dope, like, yo, I will post that on the trigger warning page.
Yeah.
Because for me, it shows a certain level of unity, a certain level of, like, yo, I'm here. And on a selfish aspect, right, like just a business aspect, it looks good.
Yeah.
It's good for legacy, dude.
Content,
it's good for legacy. It's good for everything, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like, yo, I'm actually about the lifters. I'm actually about the community. I'm not just talking. You know, like, there's, without getting into super specific, because I don't want to be a crazy shit talker, but there's a lot of people who are big on posting this emoji.
Yeah.
We're working on something. Yo, do something. Don't fucking talk to me about what you're working on.
I've never used that emoji.
Don't
before.
get the fuck. Why are we being quiet?
Yeah, you know why I don't
put-
ever use that one? Because I just do shit.
Because you're just doing it, right? That's what I'm saying. Like,
I ain't got to shush anybody.
we don't need to shush about anything.
Yeah,
like,
nah.
Yo, do something noteworthy, and people will take notice.
Yeah.
You don't have to do. It's like that meme where, like, the guy's slowly putting on the clown makeup, and it's like, I'm moving in silence. I'm moving in silence. It's like, yo, nobody even knew I was getting this gym until or me and my wife were getting this gym until we got it, right?
Yeah.
Like, we didn't because it's like,
What if you had to put a teaser post up?
yeah, shh. It's like, yo, less shushing, and like, yo, like, actually, like, do something. You know what I mean? And so, you know, like, with you know, putting up money for meets and all that stuff, like, yo, I don't really have to do the. We're coming with something. It's like, no, I show up with the fucking cash in my hand and put it out for lifters to get that money. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so the whole, like, we're doing something in the, you know, there's teasing stuff from a business aspect, and then there's putting stuff out that's just like, ooh, it's like, yo, do something noteworthy, and I will fucking take note of it.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've worked on too, because I was the shusher.
Well, I think also, like, what you are finding with this growth, Anthony, is that type of shit is like small time. Yeah. It just is. Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna put out a PGA logo and go, shh. No, I went and did a podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm fucking with the PGA.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna go get a deal done with them and then launch the show.
If you're confident, right?
Yeah,
if you're confident,
bro,
you know what's gonna go through.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that stuff.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Here's the other thing is, I learned my lesson on this very early in my career, because, you know, my main obsession and focus was to be on the cover of magazines when I moved here, right? And it took me 8 years to get my first one, but I shot 3 that never came out. And I told, there's no internet then, or no social media really yet, because I was like 2004, 5, 6, whatever. And I just told people I knew. So then they would ask me, when's it coming out? And then I have to go, actually, I'm fucking, like, too small. They didn't want to fucking use it. Or
hashtag big things coming.
That's exactly. It was like, you know, I learned my lesson. I was like, you know what? I'll tell them when I pick it up off Barnes & Noble's and newsstand.
Yeah.
And then when I was able to do that day, then that was a proud moment to push it out. Yeah. But I learned my lesson real fast on that, because that was like a big thing I was shooting for. Everyone knew it. And then I was like, man, I'm just like letting people down, and I'm letting myself down, because why am I like, no, go deliver on it.
Yeah.
Then it went from 1 to like 13 all within a couple years. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's why I learned my lesson real quick on that one.
I love that. Yeah. There's like, we put out that post about the gym, and You get messages from people that might have used to been close to you, might have used to been around, and you've kind of pushed them off a little bit. And it's funny to see people who didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
And then they see it and they're like, holy shit. And it's like, yeah, motherfucker. What do you think I've been napping?
Yeah.
You think I've been taking naps?
Think I've been sleeping?
Like, no, dude.
Think I've been shushing motherfuckers?
I've been like doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like
when you get a Twitter, I'm tweeting you that fucking emoji.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just like if you're actually bringing something to the table, just bring it.
Yeah,
you don't need to like I don't know, man. Like, it's sick putting stuff out on social media. Obviously, that's a huge part of what I do. It's a huge part of what you do.
All of us.
But there's it's like when you're clout chasing or when you're attention trying to grab like that, you can't define it, but when you see it, you know it, right? Mm-hmm. When you see someone, you're like, oh, you're full of shit, bro. The fuck out of here. You know what I mean? And getting to that next level of kind of leveling up your success where you stand, it makes it even more obvious. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And kind of like looking back on my time hop. I don't know if you fuck with time hop, but I look at time hop every morning. Sure.
I don't. It just happens. I don't know how it happens. Can I actually look back at it?
Yeah. Okay. I have the app, right? And I'll look.
Oh, okay.
And it goes back as far as you got social media. So I'll go through. And it goes backwards, right? So first thing you see is 1 year ago, then 2 years ago, then 3 years ago, and you can boom. And so I see all my social media posts from 6 years ago, from 4 years ago, and it's just like, yeesh, you know, or like, you know, I came across one the other day that was me when I first came out here, and it was something along the line, like the last line was like, motherfuckers are gonna know me. Yeah. And I hadn't done shit yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I put it out there, like I was like, this is gonna fucking happen. And it feels good to
make it happen.
I was saying to Val the other day that was like, I mean, like, I had my knuckles and my hands tattooed when I was working at Lowe's. I did this shit on purpose so that I would never work at a bank. Yeah. So that I would never, and it feels good to know that, like, it might have taken me a little bit longer to get somewhere where I was like, could support my family and could do the thing, but I never fucking did anything anybody else's way. Like, I did it my way. And that feels really, it sounds braggadocious. You know what I mean? To say that shit. But
when it's the truth, is it?
It's real. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real. Like, I didn't ever bend to anybody. You know what I mean? When I felt like I was getting disrespected at Westside, I fucking left. You know what I'm saying? When I felt like I was a certain way with certain people, certain gyms, I fucking left. And I never bent to somebody else's will. Yeah. And to me, you don't always get, like, not everybody ends up like lucky. Like, I feel like I've been fortunate with some stuff, but it does feel good to look at myself in the mirror. Like, I get out of the shower and I'm like, I'm covered in tattoos. I look like a fucking maniac. I did it on, and I, at the end of the day, I'm gonna have my own spot. You know, like, me and my wife are gonna be good. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, she gets to go to work in her fucking workout pants every day. Man. Like, you know what I'm saying? And a hoodie. And to me, that you love, bro. Feels fucking good to do that. And it just takes a long time to, like, you just have to keep fucking swinging. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you have to keep fucking going. And no matter what anybody says, it's like with the trigger warning stuff, it was always, when I was at Westside, it was always certain, with your little trigger warning. They always said that, with your little trigger warning thing, with your little, and it's like, with your little motherfucker, like, where are you at? You know what I mean? Like, and you just have to be able to hear that and say, okay, cool, I'm going to keep doing me. And if you don't like it, then it is what it is. It's the same thing. People gave me shit for getting excited after lifts and even in training. And it's like, I'm going to keep doing me. Yeah, it's authentic. It works. It doesn't matter. And people fuck with that, right? Hell like, you're like, the level of excitement. Like, think about how bought in all these people are here at this gym for you. That doesn't happen if you're full of shit. Well, enthusiasm is one of the main keys that Andrew Carnegie talked about in his entire book. Okay. You can't really, like, I think, make anything great with no enthusiasm. Now, that enthusiasm could look different. Yeah. But in the reality, in a lifting, that's the enthusiastic, like, cheat code / authenticness. Like, I'm really that. I've told people before that morning lift, especially when I'm, like, healthy and I can really push, that is undoubtedly 100% myself. Yeah. And that's why I created this compound, so I could just live it out, like, exactly how I want to, how I've seen it in here. Right. Yeah. And so it's like, and I'm at a point where it really doesn't matter what anyone else, it hasn't really mattered for a long time. So it's like, if I just keep doing, I'm for some people and I'm not for some people. And I understand that. Yeah. And I know you understand that. That's a big part of it too. I get that. Like, not everybody's going to ride with you like that. No, bro, they don't. Yeah. They don't ride with me. And I get it. But the motherfuckers that do ride with me, they're getting value. Yeah. And I know I'm giving them value because the other thing I learned from, reading those books is the over delivery part.
that at the end of the day, like, that's why we're doing shows like this. We're not just talking about training.
Yeah.
Talking about real life shit.
It's more.
So is the Daily Fire. So is the, like, I know that I'm delivering more of a lifestyle now.
Yeah.
People just don't realize that when they come into the fold.
Right.
And I know there's value there. So it's like, if you're not riding and you're not about it, that's okay. But there's people that is severely, it's changed their life.
Yeah.
And once you feel that, then I can't not do it.
I have 3 people that I know that I'm friendly with that when I started rocking with you a little bit, they were not into it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know what I'm saying? They were like
100%.
And these aren't like big, tough lifters. These are like sub 200-pound dudes that are like whatever. You know what I mean? And they were like, he's cheesy.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
they didn't really dig. That's why.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, just watch, because what you see is what you fucking get.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I've had a couple conversations like that, and then they come back.
Yeah,
and they're like, yo, he's real. Like, I got a buddy who's on
Once
the app
we did
now.
that show, I think that helped a lot too.
Yeah,
to
well,
your
it shows.
community.
Yes, it shows like that you're a real dude, that you know what you're talking about, and it's like, you know, one of those people is now on your app, pays for the app, watches all this. She'll see this right now.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he knows
great.
what I'm talking about, and it's really cool because they didn't fuck with you at first, but once you see someone, if you consistently, like, if you're yourself, you don't need a good memory. Because you know what I'm saying? Because you're always like, if your wife came in and watched you train, she would not be surprised by how you act.
No.
And I don't even know. I've only met her twice, and I know.
No, she's embarrassed how everyone else sees me act though. I'm like, baby, that's how we pay the bills.
So like, she wouldn't be surprised. She wouldn't be surprised by that.
No.
Val wouldn't be surprised.
No.
She could listen to any of my podcasts, any of that shit, and she's not going to be surprised by anything I say because it's authentic. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's like a huge
Being
part.
able to, you know, get people that feel that way initially and then actually realize that, I think some of the business success, people automatically think that it's got cheese with it.
Fine, dude.
But it does,
and lots
it's
of
like,
it, 'cause
yeah,
they got
and that's
money.
the thing. So it's like, that's why I always think, but when people can realize that I actually love lifting as much as I do, and that I actually have been a fan of multiply and been in more multiply meets probably than I have been in raw meets, like that, I love it to that level. But I always knew that I wasn't going to squat like 1,100 pounds. Like, I knew that those weren't really in the cards for me. But once again, I only focused on, what does Corey have?
Yeah.
Not against what does Anthony have. That's Anthony. That's not Corey. Like, what can I do? And what, even like most recently, as I'm getting healthier, I'm like, I'm not cool with my numbers being the number that I'm like, because, you know, I've been kind of banged up for a couple years now. So it's like, but it's like, I think I can beat my all-time raw numbers again. I think I can go. I just showed that I could support damn near 700. That was my all-time number before.
Yeah.
In multiplying, I made 680. So it's like, well, they took it from me, but you know what I mean.
It was fine.
It was fine.
Depth was fine, dude.
Yeah. So it's like, it's one of those things where, you know, I just am pushing really to squeeze everything that I got. And I've always felt that way because I realize, and this really, when I realized I'm not 220 and shredded, like the guys that were on the magazines when I first came in, that I knew that I can't compete with that anyway. So I can only just do the best that I can do with me. And some people are going to ride with it and some people aren't. And I think I just made I just had an understanding about that like really early in the process.
Yeah.
So I think it helped me a ton.
Coming
I've been
back-
swinging since 99, bro.
Dude, I love
I started the LLC in 1999.
That picture of you in the gym.
My supplement business.
Yeah, I love that you had to put an arrow to. It's like, this is me. Like, just in case people didn't know.
3 shelves with, you know, Beverly International and a couple other things, and it said Supplement Center.
I love that, dude. That's so sick to like look at what you come from to where you are.
That was that was my 3rd year in business. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna add like a revenue producing arm to the business. Maybe I can pay the electric bill with this. Swear to you, bro.
I love that.
That's so funny. The entry point.
But that's how it starts, right? Like,
Yes,
and then
sir.
and then it just gets bigger and bigger. And I like where we're at now with you know, me and Val, like where we're living at. Like, I see this stuff again on Time Hop, like videos, because where we live now, the spot we're at now, we actually lived in the same, not the same building, but the same apartments when we first moved out here, and it was $550 a month to live there. Trash, you know what I'm saying? It's this tiny little place, and we're back there now, and they've renovated and all this stuff. But it's funny watching those old videos of us in our kitchen and shit, and seeing like we had nothing, dude.
Yeah.
We had fucking nothing. We had a $200 couch. Like, it was, you know what I mean? Slept on an air mattress the first several months we were out here, and then being able to build on that, man, it's something to be really proud of. And
Really proud
it's
of.
hard to, you know, during that time, like I said, it's like making money's queer. Like, oh, like, you know, like, you know, people, they give you shit about it. And it's like, now it's like, no, dude, like, I want to make sure, like,
I don't have any friends that think that, by the way.
Well, yeah.
We think the complete opposite.
Yeah.
The
How
complete
you
opposite.
present yourself though is big, right? Like even
Yeah.
in the past like 2 years or something for me, like if you had said to me 3 years ago, you're gonna wake up in the morning before you go somewhere and look at your wife and be like, what should I wear? Right?
Did
I
you
would've
say
said
that
there's-
today?
Yeah, fucking right, dude. I was like, I want to look good. Like I want to
Yeah,
make
yeah.
sure that I present myself in a way that's accurate to how I feel and how I want people to view me, right? And what I think looks dope. Instead of doing the lazy thing where it's like, I don't give a fuck. I don't need to trim my beard. I don't fucking care. I'll wear these dirty ass sweatpants or whatever. Like there's something that to me that, you know, putting it out there and being comfortable enough with yourself to be like that growth where you're like, yo, I want to look good, so I feel good, so I present myself well, and I can build this. You know what I mean? And make the money and pay the money for get the chain and the fucking nice gear and whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. That's
Hell no.
dope.
Hell
Like
yeah.
my bills are fucking paid.
One of the things Anthony said to me early on when he started having some success, he's like, bro, all of my shit's on auto pay now. So like I'm so removed from that at this point in my life. I was like, but that is like a step up where you're trying to just make enough to make your bills. And then you're like, cool, auto draft all of it, player.
Well, yeah.
Like, and you're not even noticing that's coming out, right?
Yes.
So, and that's why I like helping younger people in business sometimes, because and that's why I love working with these dudes too. Like I see their growth and it's so fast, and I see the kind of money they're making and the opportunities they get. And it's like, it just reinvigorates me. So I hear that. I'm like, damn, I do remember when that shit happened to me too. You know what I mean?
Instead of looking and saying, oh, it comes out on the 15th. Fuck, okay.
Yeah.
How many days late can I be before they add more money to it? Okay, so I could pay it on the 17th.
Well, and it's even more
you know
because
what I
it's
mean?
your
Like,
business, right? So I think it's not just that it's auto pay because you're getting a paycheck. It's auto pay because you created the money from an idea.
Yeah.
And that's a different feeling.
I think dealing with that stress too is something that I've gotten way better at too, with the fact that like, that's part of the systems, right? Like making sure that you have systems in place so that you're not stressed about creating content, putting stuff out and whatever. Dealing with the stress of the fact that like no one's cutting me a check unless I fucking put something out. I have to, like, I'm the last person, you know what I mean? Like I'm the last person to get paid. I got to make sure all my bills are paid for, and then whatever's left over, I get money from, you know, and the stress of that used to fucking trip me the fuck out. Like I need to make sure it's Monday. I have to film Mental Monday. Like I was stressed. Like what am I going to talk about? Whatever. And now, because I'm used to that and I can ask more of myself. It's like there's a Nipsey interview where he says that you just ask more of yourself.
More of yourself. It's supposed to feel a little chaotic when you're pushing the envelope.
Well, dude, it's
too.
like it's really easy to sit. Like it would have been easy for you to just stay in your old spot, like where Max
Facts.
was.
Yep.
Like that's an easy thing, right?
yeah.
Like it was working. You were doing well. You were killing.
Yeah.
Right?
And we were killing with the new setup in the old spot.
Yeah. And so
But this spot's way cooler.
Yeah, and to push to that, like you added stress to, you know what I mean? You had a couple things that we talked about where it was like, oh fuck, like how am I going to make this happen? But then like look at what happened because of that.
Yeah.
Like
it feels
this,
amazing.
like this is fucking sick, dude.
I
This would not be going down at that old spot. You know what I mean?
Bro,
Like,
yesterday we was in the gym bullshitting about something, and Tyler had opened the door and he was bringing out the sacks because FedEx had pulled up, and I looked around and I was like, I cannot believe how perfect this building is for this.
Oh.
Like this is like it was made for us.
Yeah.
And me and in the gym and our Max and all of these guys, like, and just like I was almost like in disbelief. And I remember how hard it was to make it happen, right?
Sure.
But also like I took a lot of value in showing these guys I could make it happen. So they hear the Muscle Farm stories, but they weren't with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they got to see me actually go through some pretty high stress, deal with a lot of numbers, make it happen. And Cole, we were talking about AG. My son's about to do his first powerlifting meet. He just went and weighed in Dayton. We were talking about it on the way down there, and he was like, geez, like I saw you go all in, so why would I not go all in? And that's what I was hoping would happen, right?
Right.
But like actually hearing that back was, you know, and everyone said I'm in. Like I called every one of these guys and said, dude, if I do this, I need it, and it's going to be difficult. I cannot do it on my own. Like I need everybody in. And hearing that response back, bro, it was awesome to have that true support. But then I felt good because I've been talking this noise, but then to show what I was able to execute within a 6-month period of time between the buyout, the building, and all this stuff, and it to happen in like light speed, right?
Yeah.
That felt good to kind of deliver. I kind of thought I was done with that stuff, to be honest with you.
No shit.
You know what I mean? But then I was like, oh yeah, I got this in me. Let me just make it happen again.
I love that, dude.
Yeah.
The progression is, like I said at the beginning of all this, like from where I'm standing, it's inspiring to see
thanks.
somebody who's already at the top to be pushing. You watching the new Tom Brady doc?
I haven't yet, but I will. Yeah, I'm sure it's epic.
Two episodes in.
Yeah,
and I'm not even like a football guy at all. And
you're
like,
a hockey guy.
Yeah. So it's like, to me, it's like whatever, but it's like it's just as good as the Jordan stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And it's the same sort of thing where you see somebody who's just like was not okay, like was okay with being the best, but like not okay with that being like, if the best to him was here and he's already better than everybody, he still wanted to go up.
Yep.
Even though he was already better than, you know what I mean? And to me, that's like super inspiring to watch. And same thing with Hoff, you see like somebody who's already got such a dominance, and they're like, nah, it's not good enough. Yeah. Like I want to beat. I
like that clear cut vibe, bro. Like I want it to be, and mine might be for a different reason, like partially athletic, but partially like business. Like I want it to be like a clear cut. Like when they talk about me when I'm done, I want it to be like, yeah, that dude had a fucking real business. You know what I mean? That dude did what he said. Like I want it to be like clear cut. I never want to be like like I want it to be just like Hoff. Like it's clear cut. He's the greatest until somebody comes and really smokes him.
Somebody that we don't know yet.
Correct. They might not even be alive yet.
Yeah.
So it's like, but I think that's how I've always thought about stuff. That's why I never thought about stuff in a local level. I've never put myself I've never thought of myself on a local level. When I came here, I moved to Columbus. I didn't know anybody except for Dustin and a couple guys at my house on campus. But like, I remember thinking like, all right, I got to be the best like personal trainer in Reynoldsburg first. That's where my first spot was at. Then I need to be like the best or one of the best in Columbus first. And then it becomes like, I never thought of it like it was only staying there.
Sure.
Never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
So I just have never, and I'm not really sure how I got like this, but it's just like, it just always made sense to me. Like, I don't know. Like, I know there's a big world out there, but I hadn't really even traveled that much at that point in my life. Now I have, so I really see it's a big world.
Sure.
I go to fucking Scotland and I'm meeting members from the website for a beer.
Dude,
I go to fucking Ireland. I'm meeting
wild.
members from the website with a beer. It's like,
I love that.
It's crazy.
That was something that I said, like as a young kid, I said, because I knew I would never play in like the show, like playing hockey. Like I was not an NHL level player, and I knew that pretty young, but I always said like I wanted to be in a position where there were people who knew me that I didn't know.
Yeah, it's cool.
And that was like something that I wanted. Like I was like, I want people to know me, and when I see them, I don't know who they are.
To make a mark. Yeah.
And now I'll see people in trigger warning shirts at meets. I have no fucking idea who they are.
Yeah.
And there can be 4 people at a meet. They all have the same trigger warning shirt on, and they don't even know each other. Yeah. And to me, that's fucking
when you see
crazy.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
oh God, like, going to north of the border, like whatever, a couple weeks ago, and you just see like, it's not, you don't see the pit bull anymore. You see the globe and the chain. Yeah. And that is a really cool feeling.
Hell yeah.
To kind of like stamp it, especially with us moving back now. You kind of like leave it. You're like, okay, I put my mark here. Mm-hmm. That's going to continue to grow, even though I'm going 800 miles away.
Doesn't matter.
You know what I'm saying? It's just going to keep happening because we're still going to come back for meets and all that stuff anyway. Yeah. But it's sick to see that. Like you said, like, I'm not on that level where I'm going to Scotland and meeting motherfuckers, but it's cool to like, going back for a meet in New Hampshire when we were here and see people there that I didn't know when I was in New Hampshire, but they found me when I was out here and vice versa. It's
cool.
Is really fucking sick.
Yeah, it's
It makes me very grateful.
Yeah, I think like when I think about the block of time, like you coming here and then heading home, it's just like you're gonna look back on this, Anthony, and just be like, "Fuck, man! Like I grew up in Ohio."
It feels like feels like a different. It feels like a different time. We see pictures of us, me and Val, like together.
Yeah,
like babies.
Yeah,
like when we first got out here, I seemed like still wet behind the ears. Like didn't really understand, and I thought I was a bad motherfucker then. Like I thought I had it figured out.
Of course,
and I just didn't. Yeah, I still don't. We're still figuring it
out. One of my favorite things he said to me, though, is when I first met him, I said something like, yo, I fuck with this stay hated stuff or something like that. And he goes, yeah, they hate you for a different reason, don't they?
Dude, I had just heard the first thing I heard about him was like not good. And I was like, and on like some jealousy weirdo shit. Yeah. So I like knew it's like, oh, he's got this many members and it's this much. And it's like, that's sweet, though.
Yeah.
Why are we mad about that?
It's so funny, bro. I love it. We should hit him with some questions, and then we can wrap it up. So you guys got anything out of all this?
Bro?
Yeah, what you got?
I don't know if I really have any questions, but I would say, like, overall, the main theme is, like, you came here and you just went through so many different, phases and experiences. And, like, just even from a training aspect of you understanding now going from multiply into single ply and understanding what that perspective is life and how you can get people from there, then to now understanding the business stuff and how you can connect with even more people, and now you have business connects and training connects. Like understanding of putting yourself out there and trying to experience as much as you can and grow in that way. Like you're forced to fucking grow up. And later on down, like now to executing the gym move, like that's all because of everything else you went through.
100%. All the different like interpersonal issues that I've had here and there, you know what I mean? Because you get placed in somewhere where all of a sudden, I remember this kid, no, he's not a kid, but this guy, Ryan Reddy, he said to me before I moved out here, he's like, just keep a heads up, dude. Like, you think you got a bullseye on you out here. Like, just wait till you.
No, you get a bigger one when you go into that gym,
like,
boy.
Just wait till you're a West Side guy. Like, you got people that even more people are going to pay attention to you. Even more people are going to hate on you, whatever. And I was just kind of shrugged it off. But now going through all this interpersonal stuff and people doing whatever they're going to do, and I haven't been 100% right either. Like, I want to be very clear about that. Like, I've fucked up out here with social stuff and with business. And you said it to me. He's like, you're like, one of the times around the phone, he's like, don't get twisted. You're going to fuck something up and lose money.
It's facts.
Like,
I do it all the time.
Just know that you're going to do that. And it's the same thing with relationships too. Like, you know, you're going to make the wrong play. And I think the big thing that I've learned with that, with all the different people and stuff, and that's going to help me in business is like, I've learned now how to look at somebody and be like, my bad. I'm sorry about that.
That takes a lot of maturity too, man.
You know what I mean? And that's big on business too, because you know that like if somebody gets fucked on a deal or something gets fucked up and you have the balls to say like, dude, I'm sorry, that's my bad. I'll take the heat on this. I fucked it up. Then you're not going to lose that relationship instead of just cutting it off and saying fuck it. You know what I mean? And that'll help like moving forward, I think, you know, with everything, because now with the gym, it's like, now we're going to have even deeper roots with all that shit.
Facts.
So,
Trayvon, you got anything, buddy?
I don't have any questions, but I just think it's cool, like, I mean, just like to see like your progress and everything, because I remember watching like your lifting videos on West Side in high school.
See, that's what I'm saying, bro.
Like I remember watching him in high school and being like, this dude's a bad
motherfucker.
Hey, what I will say is though, from my perspective, in the whole multiply world, I view you as like the number one because you're out there putting it out.
Damn,
and
thanks, bro.
I'm fucking thankful that I must have caught you on a good day 5 years ago.
I know.
Whenever I randomly messaged you.
I know it, dude.
Because after the 1065 squat and you're like, West Side motherfucker, I instantly saw, I was like, fuck yeah. Like, dude, I was watching the videos all the time. And, you know, like that. Yeah, that's cool. So I'm glad I caught you on a good day.
The message, like, I remember, I don't remember it until you brought it up on that first show when I came out here. And you were like, you must have caught me on a good day. I must have performed well that morning.
Because that's whenever I was all in on single ply, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" So because I was looking at your squat, I'm like, "Oh, I kind of squat the same." So I messaged him. I was like, "Hey, like I squatted. I think it was like 565 or something."
I remember that.
I was like, "Can you look at this and tell me what to do?" And you're like, "Yeah, just tuck your elbows a little bit more."
So good.
That's sick.
It was sick.
That's right there. Like you're unaware that I saw that squat one way, Trey saw it one way. Well, we all saw it the same way, but you know what I'm saying? Like, but that was authentic. You put yourself in the position to be swimming with the sharks, right?
Yeah.
Like with all those guys and learn it. And so it's like all that stuff, because it was authentic, is so powerful, bro. But you don't even realize in the moment because you're just really being you.
Yeah. I'm the shark now, though, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's like someone said that to me yesterday. Was it yesterday? I was talking about moving back. And, we went out to eat, like night crew went out. And Dave's girl said to me, she's like, you know, now you get to be the big fish.
Yeah.
And
facts.
And it's like weird because in the gym that might be true. Like, you know, and that'll be a transition where like I will have
you're
the biggest
the
numbers.
Absolute leader.
Like 100%, especially when it comes to numbers, performance, all that stuff. But and that's cool, and you know, there's parts that I'm gonna miss about being not the strongest person in the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to it, the bigger picture, when it comes to business, like I'm jumping into a situation where I'm small fish.
Yeah.
Again. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like now it's
all
like
new stuff.
New stuff. I'll be, you know.
You have to make the decisions, Anthony.
Day one, like February 1st, like day one in the gym. That's my first day as a business owner with my wife, right? Yeah. So I am literally
owning a gym. You've never owned a gym before?
That's what I'm saying. Like I am the smallest fish that there can be in that situation. So where I'm kind of taking a step to be like kind of big dog, I'm also taking a step to be, you know, learning everything again and putting myself in a position to be the guy who's bottom on the totem pole. When it comes to the business, when it comes to gyms, I will be day one.
Yeah.
And that's the smallest you can be, right? So, and I'm grateful for that because it's the only way I can go is up.
Yeah, dude. Exciting time.
Fucking stoked.
Love it, man. Anything else you want to share? Talk about where's the gym at? What's it called?
Yeah.
Do you know what it's called yet?
Yeah, we have I'm not going to say the name. I'll tell you when it's done recording.
Yeah.
We're moving in silence. I like to turn I got a clown nose on. We're moving in silence. Yeah, we have. I don't want to say the name until I have someone working on. My buddy Kurt's working on all the design, so I want to make sure I have that ready before we put it out. But yeah, it's in Concord, New Hampshire. It's 2,800 square feet. Got a turf, 3 monos, 3 deadlift platforms. 2 belt squats, 2 reverse hypers, glute hams, like everything you could possibly imagine. And the guy that I'm buying it from, like he's been in business for so long that he has like every, I don't want to say fad piece of equipment, but like all of the like, you know, he's got slide boards, battle ropes, like
he's got
everything that like could be. So, and they've had, you know, when I interned there, that was the first place I had a job in a gym. So I've worked with CFL guys there, D1 athletes. Like,
that's cool.
And so I kind of have some roots there anyway. Actually, a really cool part about the gym is his board is a whiteboard. It's not a chalkboard, right? So, you know, he has like the jumps from then the sprints and stuff, and then he has the powerlifting numbers and everything. But the grid for it with the weight classes and the names on the top is actually my handwriting from when I worked there.
Oh, wow.
So when I walked in, I could see it says like male, female, all the weight classes.
It's all from you.
It's like this sort of like old school traditional sort of lettering.
Yeah.
And I had done that was like something he gave me when I was like a little punk ass intern. He's like wipe down the board and make it look like good. And so I did all that. So it's like really cool to you know, full circle to go back there. But yeah, so we're gonna do a soft open in February. Like the gym's never gonna close.
Yeah.
But we're gonna like take it over in February, remodel, paint and all that stuff, and then we're gonna have like a big like springtime kind of grand opening thing, and try to get some people out there and stuff. So we're really excited, and I'm stoked to have like my wife has just been fucking awesome with like, you know, handling all the like I'm like we had to have that conversation where it's like, yo, I'm like kind of the face of this. And there's certain things that I have to do that you literally can't do. Like she can't make a mental Monday. She's not going to write the program there, but there's stuff that she can do that I don't have the bandwidth for. So kind of delegating that, and it's really on like a serious note, it's really like been good for our relationship and stuff too, because now we have to have a working relationship as well. Yeah. Where we have to communicate or the shit's going to fall apart. So I'm really excited for that, and just to be around my nieces and nephews and shit. Like,
just being back home, dude.
I'm very excited about it. So we leave on the 17th. So what is it, like 16 days, bro?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to get you out here, bro.
It's quick, man. Yeah. Like I've got 3 squat sessions left with the night crew, and actually the Friday before we leave on the Saturday, the Friday before is a big like full gear free squat.
Fuck
so
yeah.
I'll be able to go there. I've always said that's my favorite thing is Friday night free squat full gear. So throw on the canvas and get back into multiply again.
Fuck yeah. Where the website for training, for everything, for
clothing?
Yeah.
So for if you go to twcstayhated.com is like we'll get you to the apparel, and then I have a Patreon page. It's just patreon.com/triggerwarningconjugate. The Instagram is trigger_warning_conjugate. Yeah, if you search Stay Hated, it comes up with everything on there. We have everything from like, you know, memberships from like $3.50 a month all the way up to $200.
Well, and I've been on the podcast. Cole's been on the podcast, and I think Trey's getting ready to come on the podcast.
Weeks here, like 2 weeks or something like that.
That's cool.
So it's been, dude, like I can't thank you enough just to put it out there so that everybody hears it. Like, you know, if you have questions, fucking ask somebody who knows. You know what I'm saying? Like offer them something of value. Like don't come to them with nothing. Yeah. And they'll fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a certain aspect that you thought you could maybe get some stuff from me, and I could learn a bunch from you, and ask the fucking question. And when you ask the question, fucking listen. There you go. Listen to what they have to say, because I promise they know more than you.
That's a good way to wrap it up. Thanks for being here, Anthony.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Roundtable Podcast. I'm your boy Corey G, Small Arms Danny, at Trey Speed, and the graphic gangster himself, Cole Susak. We are out. Let's go.